Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rarat Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. In my channel I make videos on Vedic astrology. I talk about transits and how these transits have an impact on all 12 ascendant or the moon signs. In the recent times I have made a video on the annual transit of 2025 and how it is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant or the moon signs. This video is available on my channel. You can check that out along with a series of other videos as well. I also share golden astrological tips in these transit videos, so please watch the first few minutes for certain tips. Today this video is about Mars's continuation of retrograde transit, where now Mars is entering the sign of Gemini on 21st of January and it is going to stay in a retrograde motion in Gemini till 24th of February. So 24th of February is the day when Mars will turn direct before moving into stationary position for a couple of days, and then it will move back to the sign of Cancer on 3rd of April. So this is a long transit that Mars is having in the sign of Gemini. Finally, Mars is out of debility. It is moving back to the sign of Gemini, and then it will also start its direct motion within this sign. Gemini is a very youthful sign. This sign is ruled by Mercury. Rahu gets exalted in this sign. The energies that are associated to the sign of Gemini is something that you always want to stay like a child and you don't want to grow up. So any planet making a transit through this sign finds itself to be very youthful. Mars is the driver of energy. It is firepower. It is the natural significator of the soul, your body, vitality, immunity. It naturally rules the sign of Aries and the sign of Scorpio. So it rules yourself and your overall transformation. Though Mars is being retrograde in an inimical sign that is ruled by Mercury or Buddha. However, this Mars is going to be staying in the nakshatra of Punarvasu that is ruled by Jupiter. So it is in a friendly nakshatra because Mars and Jupiter, they share a very good relationship. So from 21st of January till 24th of February, the deep secret that I'd like to share with you, it is the best time for exercise. Though any time that you start exercise, you start working out is always good. But this is a time where energies are pretty much favorable because Mars, the natural source of energy, the director of energy, is in the Aries sign of Gemini. It is retrograde, so it is bringing in karmic repercussions. Third house, the natural sign of Gemini, represents your hands, it represents your arms. So anything that you do using your hands. Mars or Mangal is the natural significator of the third house, which signifies valor, courage, change, growth, and it is a perfect time to start exercising, start working out, and you will be able to very easily get regular with your exercise routine over the next 1 month. Now, this is also a time when you have to look back at your decisions or some of the events that happened with you during September and October of 2024, because this was also a time when Mars was in Gemini. So you will get an opportunity to take corrective steps, corrective measures based on certain decisions that you took around these months or certain events that occurred around these months that could revisit in case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive. So please think about what happened in your life during September and October 2024. This is likely to be repeated. You are likely to look back at certain decisions, take the corrective steps. Now I'd like to share with you two deep secrets here. Mars will be in the sign of Gemini, but in the nakshatra of Punarvasu. I rarely make predictions based on nakshatras, because 27 nakshatras are the 27 state of mind. So as far as physical manifestation is concerned, we have to look at the Rashi, we have to look at the sign. This is what predominantly matters. Nakshatras are more or less the state of mind. These are driving energies, the sources where you get energies, and of course how you orient yourself, the kind of environments that you like to thrive, what are your likes and dislikes, what is the state of mind, and of course nakshatras are very closely related to moon. So it is moon's 27 different state of minds, 27 different behaviors, 27 different patterns of life. And further down, 4 padas of each nakshatra determine your dharma, artha, kama and moksha, which are the 4 pillars of life. The first pada is about dharma, second pada is about artha, third pada is about kama, and fourth pada is about moksha. Now another interesting fact related to Rashis, signs and nakshatras, those who are born during the daytime have a predominant factor and forces energies related to the signs in their chart, related to the rashis. However, those born during the night time will have a stronger influence of the nakshatras, because nakshatra mandal, the constellations, are visible during the night time. So the energies are very much higher for those who are born in the night time. It's a very simple tip that I'd like to share with you. The second golden astrological tip is related to grahas that go retrograde. So whenever a planet goes retrograde, it has a high impact on 7th sign from that planet, and this is very clearly mentioned in Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra. There is a terminology which is called virya, which means opposite, and this is very well mentioned in our ancient text. So Mars, while being retrograde in the sign of Gemini, will have the natural 7th aspect on the sign of Sagittarius. It is going to behave as if it's in the sign of Sagittarius, because its 7th aspect, the aspect of desire, will be very strong. Mars also has a special 4th aspect and the 8th aspect, but in this video I'd like to focus more on the 7th aspect, because this Mars is behaving as if it's in the sign of Sagittarius, which is its friend Jupiter sign, and it is also in the nakshatra of Jupiter. So the remedy for this transit is Jupiter, Guru. He is who you have to look up to in order to have any sort of remedies or avoid any ill effects of this transit. Mars is also looking back at the previous house wherever it falls in your chart, which is the sign of Taurus, and for you this is an opportunity to take some corrective steps, some corrective measures related to the significations of this house in your chart. Now let's try and understand how this transit is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant signs or the moon signs. Predominantly, you must read this transit from your ascendant sign for physical manifestation. At the mental level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Let us begin with Aries ascendants. For Aries, Mars is an important planet. Mangal is very important because it's your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant. It is your first Lord. It rules your body, your vitality, your immunity, who you are, your personality, your intelligence. This is where all the knowledge sits. Mars also rules the 8th house because it also rules Scorpio. So it rules longevity for you, transformation, sudden ups and downs, sudden changes, deep, dark secrets. This Mars now is moving back to the sign of Gemini in your 3rd house in a retrograde motion, or it is Vakari. It continues its motion in the same manner. Now this is in the sign of Gemini in the 3rd house. Mars is the natural significator or the Karaka for the 3rd house. Change is inevitable as far as next few weeks are concerned, because 3rd house represents change. It represents valor, courage, your strong determination is what this house represents. So that is something which Mars is bringing at a natural level. It is an excellent time, a perfect time for you to start exercise, start working out, or anything that you could do where your hands are used. You could do art and craft, you could do painting, you can work in the kitchen, you can do some cleaning work at your home, you can write, journal, put all your energy in a pen and a purpose to write down your goals, pen down your goals, to help you navigate through this change, because change is inevitable for you, that is coming. 3rd house is also the Upachaya Bhavas. It is your 8th Lord moving in the 3rd house. It is also very similar to a Viparita Yoga. Circumstances could go adverse. Eventually, you will rise off the situation. You would need to put in a lot more efforts in the next few weeks to sail through this transit. This Mars is looking at your 9th house by its 7th aspect of desire. I am not talking about the other 2 special aspects, though they matter as well. But the 7th aspect particularly is very strong when a planet is retrograde or Vakari. So there is a strong sense of dharma that Mars is bringing, because it's your Lagna Lord. It rules yourself and your transformation. Very strong desire for higher learning, very strong desire for travel. So the energy, enthusiasm, everything is coming in your 9th house, and this is something which you need to protect during this time. This is something which you need to channelize. A perfect time to learn, upskill and go for higher education. Put all your energy and attention here. You can also get Guru Upadesha, message or blessings from your mentor, teacher or guru during this time, because Mars is making a transit in your 3rd house. So your 3-9 axis is pretty active. Start of a journey, short journeys, long distance journey, or you could start something new. Look up to Jupiter, who is your 9th Lord. Remedy Jupiter in order to avoid any ill effects of Mars's transit in Gemini. and this is how you will be blessed, and I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Taurus ascendants and what's happening with Taurus ascendants. As far as Mars's transit is there in the sign of Gemini, it is going retrograde. It is moving back from Cancer to Gemini. Mars, Mangal is your 7th lord and the 12th lord. So this brings in a lot of relationship karma for Taurus ascendants. This is predominantly what Mars represents. It rules your 7th house of Jaya Bhava, which means peace and also war. All those people, things and events in your life which are opposite to you, your way of dealing with those people and events. Mars also rules your 12th house, which is the house of losses, expenditure, higher self-consciousness. This house represents unlimited potential. This is also the house of sleep and comforts in the bed. Therefore, from a marital point of view, harmony in life and how you deal with your relationships, partnerships, Mangal plays a very important role. And this Mars is making a retrograde transit in your 2nd house in the sign of Gemini. So it is moving out of debility, it is moving out from a 3rd house and now moving to the 2nd house. So 2nd house represents your speech, your Vani, your Kutumb Bhava, your family, your accumulation of wealth. And Mars, what it is trying to bring in here is, it is going to be favorable for your partner because they can have some wealth creating opportunities during this time. So there will be a greater sense of focus on family related matters, on partnership matters, or focusing on building cordial relationships with your spouse. There is definitely a relationship karma. This Mars is looking back at your ascendant. So it wants you to think about some decisions that you took a few months ago and re-evaluate those decisions, particularly something that happened during September, October that you might not be very pleased about. Maybe you said something and you wanted to take your words back and now it is too late for you, you couldn't. You need to resolve certain ties, you need to mend certain conflicting situation, and you need to build cordial relationship with other people, those who are opposite to you. Take care of your speech, of what you say, how you say, and I'm sure because Mars is retrograde, you would likely to be soft, you would think and speak. This is more or less from a karmic standpoint, but you have to change your eating habits and your lifestyle, and this is one good opportunity window for you to fix your lifestyle or at least try to bring things back on track. This Mars is aspecting your 8th house by its 7th aspect of desire. There is very strong desire for transformation. Mars is not the most ideal benefic planet for Taurus ascendants. It's more or less a neutral graha, but there's a very strong sense of transformation, very strong sense of doing research related things, subjects, or this is also creating a yoga in transit where your income is going to rise, because if Mars gives you increased expenditure, then your income should rise as well. So in a way, if you're expecting an increment, if you're expecting a rise in your salary, in your wages, this could be particularly a favorable time, or you could get a short-term financial gain during this time. This is something which you have to watch out for. Remedy Jupiter. Worship deity related to Jupiter, that is Lord Shiva during this time, or you could also use Jupiter's mantra, or you could worship Buddha, Mercury, who is your 2nd lord. You could worship Lord Vishnu. This is the ultimate remedy for you, and I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Gemini ascendants and what is happening with Gemini ascendants in Mars's retrograde transit. In Gemini itself, Mars is coming back in your ascendant after a few months. This is a rare scenario. It happens only once in a few years where Mars makes a retrograde transit in Cancer and then it moves back to your ascendant. It is bringing back some decisions pertaining to your intelligence, pertaining to yourself that you have taken a few months ago. You have to revisit those decisions. You have to look back at what happened in September and October, some key life events, some critical decisions that you took during this time. It is the time to re-evaluate, reassess. Mars is your 6th lord and the 11th lord. It is one of the malefic, functionally malefic planet for you because it rules the house of deaths, diseases, daily routines, your enemies, your opposition. 11th house also represents enemies, bigger opposition. 11th house is also the house of gains, the house of friends, your ability to influence, and also your purpose of life. We also see job from the 6th house. And this Mars coming in your ascendant could bring in some changes in your job, could bring in new opportunities or additional projects, additional tasks for you or add-on responsibilities that could be good for you in case your dasha antardasha is supportive. So the energy powerhouse is coming in your ascendant. Perfect time to start exercising. Try to get regular with your walk, gym, yoga, or any kind of workout that you can carry over this time, because there's a lot of energy in your ascendant. Mars is in the Aries sign. It is bringing karmic repercussions. It is looking back at your 12th house. It is trying to help you focus a lot on your sleep, on your well-being, your ability to help others. This Mars is aspecting your 7th house by its 7th aspect of desire, and this aspect is particularly very strong during this time because any retrograde planet brings a very strong sense of desire till the time it is retrograde. So it wants you to bring in a lot of energy in your relationship, mend certain ties, resolve conflicts, listen to your partner, take their advice. In case you have an important decisions pertaining to your business, this could be a favorable time to take those decisions because energy is favorable. And in case your dasha antardasha is supportive, there is certain energy level which is there. You will find it very difficult to manage these energy levels because sometimes you will be overtly enthusiastic or you will have a energy influx. So this is something which you have to be mindful of. This is something you have to channelize. So meditate, practice yoga, sadhana. 5 minutes of meditation every day is very important. Make sure that you keep yourself hydrated. Drink at least 2 liters, 3 liters of water or whatever sufficient quantity is for you, depending on your daily routine, depending on your workout and exercise regime as well. You might want to increase or decrease the quantity. Look up to your Lagna Lord Mercury. Do remedies related to Mercury, either Bija Mantra of Mercury or worship Lord Vishnu this time. And of course, make the most of this high energy transit. And this is how you will appear to other people with a person who is having a high amount of energy. Make sure that you stay careful of other people whom you might make, enemies with. And this is something which you have to be a little bit careful for the next 1 month. Watch out for opposition, watch out for other people. Try to stay low key, and I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Cancer Ascendants. So for Cancer Ascendants, Mars is a Yoga Karaka planet. It is the most favorable planet because it rules one trinal house and one quadrant or the Kendra house. It is your 5th lord and the 10th lord. There is a common element between 5th house and the 10th house. These are the houses of kingdom or Rajya Bhavas. 5th house is the house of progress, your future, power, and with power comes corruption as well. This is the house of children. That is why we see unconditional love from the 5th house. We see mantras from the 5th house. So Mars becomes your mantresha. Whether mantras will work good as a remedy for you or not is to be seen by the placement of Mars. It is also your 10th house ruler. It rules your karmas, your actions in the society, your work, profession, the kind of job that you do. This Mars is making a retrograde transit back in the sign of Gemini in your 12th house of losses, expenditure, higher self-consciousness. Work matters are going to be of your priority over the next few weeks. You have to look back at some decisions pertaining to your work, pertaining to your future, pertaining to your children or your love interest that you took around September, October, and now is the time to re-evaluate those decisions. You are getting an opportunity to fix. Maybe it was a bad decision, maybe it was a good decision. If it was a bad decision, how you could take corrective steps in order to avoid any such situation and in order to improve your work life. If it was a good decision, how you can make the most of channelizing these energies and making this a favorable time for you. This Mars is making a transit in the 12th house, so please donate during this time. Donate generously in the best of your capacity. Even if little bit you can donate to the best of your capacity, it could be good for you. Donate for your future. Donate to children during this time. This could be a pretty good remedy for you. This Mars is also looking back at your 11th house. So this time you could resolve conflicts between other friends of yours. So you might need to step into the situation to resolve conflicts amongst your friend, but at the same time make sure that you protect your relationship with your friends. This Mars is aspecting your 6th house by its 7th aspect of desire. So there is a very strong desire in terms of job related matters. So any kind of change that you're looking forward to, you need to fix your daily routine because Mars is bringing a lot of energy in your daily practice. This Mars is behaving as if it is in the sign of Sagittarius. It is in Guru's sign and Guru's nakshatra. So it wants to help you be more self-aware and take care of your daily routines, your things that you do on a day-to-day basis, and how you can overcome competition or any sort of opposition over the next few weeks. Use mantras related to Jupiter. So your remedy would come from Jupiter. Look up to Jupiter. If Jupiter is favorably placed in your chart, if it is in strength, you will have a good transit. You will have a very successful transit as far as your overall self-awareness is concerned, because this Mars will help you become more aware. If this Mars was in direct motion, it could have been challenging. So I expect till mid to end of February things to be good for you. But then the next 1.5 months could be a little bit challenging, and I wish you the very best and may you sail through this time. Now let's talk about Leo Ascendants. For Leo Ascendants, Mars is a Yoga Karaka, or one of the most favorable planets, because it rules one Kendra house, quadrant house, and one trinal or a trikon house. It's your 4th house ruler, the lord of your comfort space, your mother, your homeland, where you feel most happy, most protected. Okay, it is your home, your assets. Mars also rules your 9th house of fortune, bhagya, long journeys, higher education, your father, guru, or father figure, your teacher. This Mars is making a retrograde transit in your 11th house. So it's moving back to the 11th house by making a retrograde transit. It has been making a transit in your 12th house. Of course, it would have been bringing some challenges, but now this Mars is moving in the 11th house in a retrograde motion. Any planet making a transit in the 11th house is good. And when it is a favorable planet for you, when it is a functional benefic, in this case, Mars is a Yoga Karaka planet for you. So I expect the next couple of months to be favorable in terms of wealth creating opportunities, in terms of your income. You should definitely see a rise in your income. In case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive, this time period could also help you create more sources of income. You would like to spend on luxuries, you would like to spend on material comforts. This time period could see you buying a major household equipment or an item, or you could spend money in renovating your house, in doing some interiors, in bringing in new gadgets, new equipments, or things in your kitchen or in your home, which could help you reduce a lot of manual work. So Mars makes a favorable transit in the 11th house. This is given. It is also looking back at your 10th house. Okay, so this time it wants you to take corrective decisions, corrective steps pertaining to your workplace, pertaining to your job or your business. This Mars is aspecting your 5th house by the 7th aspect of desire. There is very high desire, very high energy for future pursuits. This 1 month is a perfect time to set your goals. Pen down those things that you were to achieve. Pen down how you can create a sense of balance between your work life and your personal life, because this is where you have been struggling all the while. So this is the time for you to take corrective steps, corrective measures, and how you can, of course, increase your financial capacity. For that, you will also have to do some financial planning. So you have to plan for your future. How are you going to manage your finances? How are you going to manage your family, your children, and of course the multiple things that are around you? Try to put certain steps and prioritize those things which are there for you. This is an excellent time for goal setting. Mantras that you should use should be either related to Jupiter or Mangal during this time. Worship Lord Hanuman. That is the ultimate remedy for you, and I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Virgo Ascendants and what's happening with Virgo Ascendants as far as Mars' transit in Gemini is concerned. For you, Mars is the 3rd house ruler and the 8th house ruler. So it rules 2 of the not so good houses. So based on its lordship, Mars is a functional malefic in your case. It rules effort, your valor, your courage. And this rulership is something that Mars likes, because Mars likes all those things that involve determination, that involve efforts, where valor is there, because Mars is the warrior, it is the commander in chief. And this Mars is also your 8th lord of transformation, occult, deep, dark places, research related subjects, longevity, your overall health and well-being, your fulfillment in marriage, because this is the Mangalya Bhava, it is second from your 7th house. This Mangal Mars is making a retrograde transit back in your 10th house. This is where Mars gains directional strength or is Digbali. So your 3rd house ruler makes a transit in the 10th house. efforts that you will make pertaining to your job, pertaining to your work, your daily routine, your action in the society is likely to give you favorable, positive results over the next few weeks. You have to look back at what happened with regards to your job, with regards to work, whether you got a new project, new assignment, whether it was challenging or you got a promotion, you got a success, you got some sort of elevation back in September, October, any work related change. So this is something which will be revisited. Maybe you submitted something, maybe you completed something, and then this task would come back to you for re-evaluation, for reassessment, or opening up again, and you would need to look at how you could fix certain things. So look back at your decisions that you took in September, October pertaining to your workplace. If you're looking forward to a change in your job, change in your work, new work, if you're trying to apply for a new job, this time your efforts should see results and you will bring in a lot of energy at workplace. So sometimes people will find you difficult, and of course in terms of dealing with your level of energy. So make sure that you're mindful of trying to balance your energy with other people. This Mars is aspecting your 4th house. So there is a greater amount of desire for mindfulness, for achieving a sense of comfort in where you are, to take some corrective decisions pertaining to your house, your real estate, your assets. So you could venture out and maybe make some investments in assets during this time in real estate, and whether this is favorable for you or not would depend on your ongoing dasha antardasha. But this time period calls for a work-life balance because you will feel tired. Burnout is something which you need to avoid over the next couple of months. There is high probability you need to practice mindfulness, you need to practice meditation, sadhana, you need to activate that moksha trine 4, 8 and 12. So practice a lot of mindfulness and 5 to 10 minutes of meditation every day along with regular exercise, and I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Libra Ascendants and what's happening with Libra Ascendants. In Mars's transit back to Gemini, it is making a retrograde transit, entering Gemini on 21st of January, and it is going to stay retrograde till 24th of February, and then 3rd of April it will move back in the sign of Cancer. For Libra Ascendants, Mars is the 2nd house ruler and the 7th house ruler. So for Libras, it plays a very important role in relationship matters, in relationship building, and also in breaking relationships. All karmas pertaining to marriage, partnership, business, family, Mars's placement and yogas it form plays a very important role. It's your 2nd lord of family, your accumulation, your storage space, what you consume, what you eat, what you say, because we see speech from the 2nd house. It is a very important planet, more or less a neutral graha for you. And it also rules your 7th house of partnership, marriage, relationship, harmony, those people who are opposite to you, your ability to deal with outer world of people, things and events. This Mars is making a retrograde transit back in your 9th house of dharma, of bhagya, fortune, your father figure, your guru, higher education. So this is an opportunity for you to take some corrective steps in terms of your education and what you did around September, October to learn or to upskill yourself, whether it met your purpose or not. So you need to reevaluate. Maybe you did something which is not helping you in a way, or you're not able to practice, you're not able to implement, you're not able to attain or maintain consistency in trying to implement your knowledge. And this is where you have to maybe pick up something else which is more relevant for you. So you have to reevaluate, reassess your own learning, your own higher education, and get advice of your mentor or a guru or a teacher during this time, because your 3-9 axis is pretty active. You need to protect your dharma, because Mars for you could make you deviate from the path of righteousness. So make sure that your decisions are right. They are backed by ethics and integrity. These are the 2 key words for you which you have to follow during this time. Mars is looking back at your 8th house, so transformation is inevitable. It is aspecting your 3rd house by the 7th aspect of desire. There is a greater desire to change, so bring in change in your life, bring in growth opportunities. Very good time for workout, exercise, because your 3-9 axis is active. Anything that you do that involves your hands, if you exercise in the gym, it is very good. You could bring in consistency, you could be very regular in your workout regime. This can help you to maintain a good, healthy, happy work life and happy self, because when your health is protected and when you're very conscious about your well-being, you could take good decisions, you could earn wealth, you could work to the best of your capacity, and this is the kind of message which will make you feel that health should be your number one priority this year. And this is the opportunity window for you to fix your daily routine and things that you do. Take advice of a coach here, and this is going to be a very important stepping stone for you in terms of making better decisions pertaining to your workplace, pertaining to your job, because in the next few months Mars is also going to come in your 10th house, and this is where it is going to bring in financial increment or financial rise in your workplace. But you have to prepare for it now. You have to take some corrective steps, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Scorpio ascendants and what's happening with Scorpio. Mars is making a retrograde transit back in the sign of Gemini. Mangal is an important planet for you because it's your Lagna Lord. It is the Lord of the ascendant. It rules yourself, your body, your vitality, your immunity, who you are. It rules your intelligence. That is also seen from the first house. First house is very important. Lagna Lord, whichever house it sits in your chart, we call it Paka Lagna, because this is where all the firepower is in that house. Agni, pure Agni, and Mars is Agni. Mars is fire, very pure fire. And this also rules your 6th house, the Lord of deaths, diseases, enemies, opposition, your job. Of course, each house has some positive and some pitfalls and blind spots as well. This rules opposition too. And this Mars is making a retrograde transit in your 8th house, back in the 8th house. So it's a Viparita Yoga in transit, 6th Lord in the 8th house. So from 21st of January till 3rd of April, there is a Viparita Yoga which is reactivated for Scorpio ascendants. You need to reevaluate, reassess decisions pertaining to your transformation, change, and sudden decisions, sudden events that happen with you in September, October, and you will get an opportunity to fix it. You will get an opportunity to reevaluate that decision, which maybe led to an uncomfortable change, and how you can make it more comfortable for yourself. Mars for you is giving you an opportunity to learn something where you could use your brain to do a lot of research, use your mind in building research capabilities and learning hidden subjects. So excellent time to learn Jyotish, astrology. For those Jyotish enthusiasts, astrology enthusiasts, 21st of January till 3rd of April is a very good time to learn astrology. You will do a lot of research if you start venturing into it. This Mars is aspecting your 2nd house by the 7th aspect of desire. So there is high energy in terms of managing things pertaining to your family and your wealth, your finances, your income. You are likely to take some decisions which are related to your own financial management because it rules yourself. It is aspecting your 2nd house. So you need to save more. You need to plan a budget or do some exercise to avoid any impulsive decisions or any extravagance in terms of buying, shopping, or of course venturing out. So this is what you have to be mindful of. Situations, circumstances could go adverse. Eventually you will rise. This time period you're also likely to evolve your eating habits, improve your eating habits. You're likely to make a change in your eating habits. So maybe you'll opt for healthy food. You'll opt for balanced diet. You could be forced to do this as well. But better is that you take some proactive steps in order to change your eating habits, change your daily routine, take care of your speech, be soft, polite with people. Make sure that you keep yourself hydrated. Drink 2 liters, 3 liters or whatever quantity of water that is comfortable for you, that works best for you. The point is to consume liquids. The point is to consume and be hydrated most of the time through the day so that you're able to navigate these energy levels, and at the same time you be very careful of what you say because you will not be able to take those words back. And I wish you the very best during this transit. Let us now talk about Sagittarius ascendants and what is happening with Sagittarius. Mars' transit in Gemini. It is going retrograde and moving back to the sign of Gemini, which falls in your 7th house of marriage, relationship, partnership, harmony. This is the Jaya Bhava. We see peace and also war from this house. Mars gains Maran Karaka position, or it's a death-like position in the 7th house. Therefore, at a natural sense, it is losing its significance. So there is a very strong relationship karma that you have to undergo over the next 3 months. You are getting an opportunity to look back at September, October of 2024. Any actions, any decisions related to your relationship, you will get an opportunity to revisit, reevaluate, reassess, and build cordial relationships and improve that phase. Strengthen your ties. Make sure that you listen to your partner. Make sure that you resolve any kind of conflict that you're having, because this is an opportunity window for you. Mars is a favorable planet for you because it rules your 5th house and the 12th house. Being the 5th lord of future, your children, unconditional love, positional success, mantras, it is making a transit in the 7th house and forming a natural yoga here. It is also your 12th house ruler, your ability to give, your ability to donate, your losses, expenditures. So you will give in relationship, you will give your time, your energy, your listening ears, and that is going to be very powerful. That is the ultimate remedy for you. If you were to, of course, foster the most your partnership, your relationship, listen to the other person. It's your 12th lord moving in the 7th house. So, of course, any donations that you make will help you succeed, will help you bring in prosperity in your life. So, make sure that you support other people. Make sure that you work towards donations related to women during this time. This Mars is aspecting your 1st house by its 7th aspect of desire. So, there's a very strong energy that it is bringing in yourself, your intelligence, your brain. So, make sure that you don't take any insensitive or any impulsive decision during this time, because Mars drives impulsiveness. Mars drives very quick thinking because it brings a lot of energy in yourself and your decision making could be very fast. Now let us talk about Capricorn ascendants and what's happening with Capricorn ascendants as far as Mars' retrograde transit back to the sign of Gemini is concerned. For you, Mars is the 4th lord of your happiness, your comfort space, your mother, your homeland, your assets, your home where you feel most comfortable, most protected. This is the house of mindfulness. This is one of the beginning of the moksha trines or moksha trikon. And it also rules your 11th house of gains, your wider social network, your friends, also enemies, very strong, powerful enemies. Your purpose of life is also seen from the 11th house. Mars is making a retrograde back to your 6th house. So it is moving out of your 7th house, helping you overcome, resolve those relationship karmas, relationship issues, and now moving to your 6th house. Mars, being a natural malefic and a high energy graha, does very well in the 6th house. So Upachaya Bhavas is a good placement for Mars. 3, 6, 10 and 11 are ideal placements. So from that aspect, it is bringing a lot of energy in growth, towards growth opportunities. Now Mars shares an inimical relationship with your Lagna Lord Saturn. So this time period could bring in some opposition, some enemies, or you would need to reevaluate any decisions that you took around September, October related to your job or related to someone who was opposite to you, who was in opposition or who was a very strong enemy or someone who was causing an obstruction. So you need to reevaluate, reassess those decisions, and you would thankfully be able to overcome that by the virtue of this transit, because this Mars is going retrograde. So the first few weeks is really that opportunity for you. This Mars is aspecting your 12th house by the 7th aspect of desire. Please donate. Anything minimum that you could do, donate blankets, it's the winter season, donate food, offer food to needy, donate for education of children. So whatever you could do to the best of your capacity, whatever limited you could do, in the best of your capacity, you must donate during this time. This is also the month of Makar Sankranti, quite auspicious to make these donations, and Surya itself is also making a transit in your ascendant, which could of course make resources favorable for you. So your 6-12 axis is active. So from a spiritual point of view, it is a very good transit because energies are going to be very high. So you should practice spiritual discipline, yoga, sadhana, meditation. These are some of the practices that you must embrace during this time, because this will help you grow not only spiritually, but this will help you become more intelligent, become more wise, because you will try to understand your potential. You will try to become more strategic in nature, It will of course foster strategy building capabilities for you. It will foster leadership potential for you and those kind of capabilities for you. It will bring in a lot of energy in your daily life, in your daily routine that you will have to manage, that you will have to navigate over the next few months, and I wish you the very best for that. Now let us talk about Aquarius ascendants and what's happening with Aquarius ascendants. As far as Mars' transit back in the sign of Gemini is concerned, Mars is retrograde from Cancer. It is moving back to Gemini on 21st of January. It will stay retrograde till 24th of February. So I'm going to talk about retrograde transit, then it will move direct. I'm going to make another video during that time and give you analysis on how and what it is going to do when it moves direct in Gemini. Mars is your third lord and the 10th lord. It is more of a neutral planet, though it shares an inimical relationship with your lucky lord Saturn. Mars does not like Saturn because Mars likes to beat Saturn. Therefore, it gets exalted in the sign of Capricorn, that is ruled by Shani, and Shani gets debilitated in the sign of Aries, that is ruled by Mars. Your third lord of valor, courage, your efforts, change, all kinds of changes are seen from the third house. Your co-bonds, your siblings, your communication, your hands, particularly your right hands and arms, are seen from the third house. Mars is also your 10th lord, the lord of karma, your actions in the society, your profession, your job, your business, what you do to survive and sustain yourself in this world. This Mars, Mangal, is going retrograde in your 5th house of progress, your future, children. This is the mantra bhava. We see positional success, we see power, authority from this house, we also see corruption from this house. Mars being a natural malefic and a functional malefic for you, it doesn't do very well in the 5th house, okay, being given that state. But this Mars is going retrograde. So predominantly mantras could work very well for you over the next few months. But these mantras should either be related to Mercury or your lucky lord Shani. So look up to Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, or look up to Lord Hanuman. Use mantras related to Vishnu. So a very simple mantra, Om Vishnave Nama, could help you sail through this transit and worship Lord Hanuman. Read Hanuman Chalisa every day. This could be highly beneficial for you. This Mars is bringing energy in your 5th house, so very good time to plan, very good time to strategize and put some of those things that you were to achieve over the next few weeks. You can do that exercise. Mars is aspecting your 11th house by the 7th aspect of desire. So there's a high desire for gains. Energy is very much favorable. In case your dasha and the dasha is supported, you could have some workplace gains over the next 3 months. You could have increment, you could have a rise in your income, or you could change your job to get a better income, to get a rise in your income, because you're likely to spend on material comforts, you would like to spend on gains. But at the same time, you need intelligent financial planning during this time. You need to manage your finances, you need to take some decisions pertaining to your investment. You have to look back at some goals that you set in September, October of 2024 and reevaluate those goals. Maybe this is a milestone time for you in order to assess where have you reached so far and how long do you still need to go and what are those steps that you need to take pertaining to those goals. It could be quite beneficial for you. Energies are very high. There's some karma towards your children. Be nice to people, be soft to people, be polite, be mindful and be respectful. Mantras could work very well. So would spiritual sadhana. Any worships, prayers that you do could bring in positive energies in your life, and I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Pisces ascendants. For Pisces, Mars is your 2nd lord and the 9th lord. Therefore, it plays a very important role in all wealth related matters. These two are very powerful Lakshmi bhavas. We see your accumulation. Any form of accumulation is seen from the 2nd house, and this is accumulation of finances, money, wealth as well. This is the natural Dhan bhava. So Mars for you becomes a Dhanesha. Mars also rules your 9th house, so it becomes your Bhagyesha as well, Lord of Fortune. Mars rules your family, your speech, which is the 2nd house. Mars is also the ruler of your higher learning, higher education, your guru, your spiritual teacher, your father, lineage, dharma is seen from the 9th house. And when Mars goes retrograde, you have to protect your dharma, you have to protect your family and your finances. This is the key message for you. So till about June, you have to do that because Mars is going to be debilitated as well again after moving back to the sign of Cancer. So this retrogression is happening in your 4th house of comfort, your Sukha Bhav, your happiness, your home, mother. So this is an absolutely good time to mend relationship and of course improve relationship with your mother, with people from your homeland, and make sure that you stay regularly in touch. Even if you're living abroad, even if you're not living together, make sure that you maintain close ties and of course very cordial relationship, and take your mother's suggestion and blessings during this time. This could be quite excellent for you, and this could support you in making wealth. So you need to focus on your mindfulness, you need to focus on spiritual sadhana, because 4th house is the natural moksha bhava. Mars is aspecting your 10th house by the 7th aspect of desire. So there's a high amount of energy at work. You will have an over or influx of energy at workplace. People will find you to be overtly energetic. So they will find it very difficult to cope up with your energy. And this is something which you have to be mindful. This is something which you have to be respectful for as well, in order to deal with these kind of situations. So make sure that you try to match your energy with the energies of other people, or you try to encourage other people. So you like to motivate people at workplace. You like to do some seminars, some sessions, some coaching sessions, some mentoring sessions, and of course lead people during this time. Your 410 axis is pretty active, which could result in some work related changes. This is also financially positive transit, because this could bring in some financial gains, some financial rise, or you could take some decisions pertaining to your real estate, pertaining to your house. An excellent time to declutter your house. Make sure that you clean and you donate all those old things or old items either to ashrams or temples or those who need the most. Give it to NGOs who work for poor people, who work for people who need these things the most, or of course you could give it to anyone you know as well. This is something which is a must have. At the same time, you must declutter your workspace as well, so it works both ways. This could create a favorable circumstances. You need to protect your dharma. Make sure that you're the messenger of your dharma, you're the protector, and at the same time learn a skill or two that you could apply in your job at your workplace. In case you're looking to make some real estate transactions dealing, you could also construct something during this time in case your dasha antardasha is supported, and at the same time if you're likely to take some decisions pertaining to your house. So this could be quite favorable for you, and I wish you the very best. May you have a pleasant transit retrograde of Mars. So friends, this was about Mars or Mangal's retrograde transit in the Aries sign of Gemini. I hope and believe during this transit the efforts that we put gives us results and helps us stay youthful, energized and charged up all through the day. May we exercise and take good care of ourselves and maintain the energy levels. Thank you very much. God bless you all.